Okay, so welcome guys. Welcome to today's video. Today, I'll go through how we make 50K a month with a free community funnel. This is purely IG to school funnel. This is a coding offer in info coaching, so helping people land 100K coding jobs, and this works extremely well for us. And actually quite simple to run. And my goal with this video is to give you the exact blueprint and how we can implement this for yourselves. Whether you're a coach looking to scale your coaching offer to multiple six figures a month, implement this free community funnel if you're running an IG funnel, and make more money from your Instagram. And if you're a marketer, you'll get a ton of new insights from this. Just to make it clear, I don't work on this offer anymore. Okay, we've worked for a long time. We implemented this funnel, worked extremely well. We've made 50K months back to back just from this funnel. Okay, no VSL funnel, just straight free community. Okay, so I'm gonna go through everything that we did. And if you are not new to the channel, you've watched a couple of videos, you know that I always show what did work, what didn't work, what are we actively doing on offers that I work on, and the offers that I worked with before. Goal with this channel is to get new talents, get opportunities, network with some of you. I'm always open to some new connections. And if you'd like to partner with me, if you run an offer, if you're a coach, if you're a creator, if you run your e-learning company, if you'd like to learn more about how you can partner with me and my team, scale your offer to multiple seven figures per year, feel free to DM me on IG or book a call with me down below. All right, so let's get into this. And this video is gonna be quite quite dense, I would say. And I would like to share with you guys something that will, at least I hope, that will help you understand more about the goal with this funnel and what's the purpose of this funnel, what's the actual goal with this. And I'm gonna use the sales barometer. And if you watch Jeremy Haynes, you've watched his content before, you probably know this. And we usually, we usually use these for pre-call funnels, pre-call processes. So, for example, you want to get someone to get, you want to help someone prior to the call to educate them, to make them warmer, so they hop on a call and they say yes and they close. So we have three types of people. We have the one buy no matter what. Those are the people that they either had, for example, bad experiences, they hate courses, some things in their life happened that made them, like, just reject opportunities, and they see everything as like, no, this is for me, whatever. People with cooked mindsets that you can't really help. There's the most people are in the middle, which is on the fence. So people who can either go both ways, and you got to put a lot of content in front of them in order to help them make the best decision. And the best decision is to go to the right side of the spectrum. What's the right side of the spectrum? It's lay down barbecue fucking chicken. These are the people who are like really hot leads, hot yeses. They hop on a call, they are just say yes, or they have, of course, a few questions before they say yes, but the likelihood of them closing is just, tremendous compared to the other two types of people. So you want to have as many lay down barbecue fucking chickens on your door as you possibly can. Usually, we do this for the pre-call process. When somebody books a call, you want them to make them as chickens as you can. Okay, you want to warm them. You want to get them as much information as you possibly can before they hop on a call with you, so they can either be chickens or they are more on the right side of the fence. Okay, some, there are a couple of things that they're gonna see and make them don't want your help. These can be things that probably ain't gonna suit them. For example, if, like, let's say it's Texas and they hop on a call to see, or they book a call to see if that's good for the UK, and then they end up noticing that, oh, this is for Dubai citizens, then of course they won't buy no matter what, because this ain't for them. But that's the thing. Okay, but you want to make your calls warmer. You can apply this exact the same way to your ecosystem. You want to make the leads in your ecosystem that are on the fence lay down barbecue fucking chickens. You want to do it. How you do it? Okay, so let me break down a few things before we get into it. So, what are the leads in your ecosystem? First, you get people to watch you, okay, and probably they ain't gonna like you, or let's say they ain't gonna trust you right there. So they either go on the hot buy no matter what, because like, I'm not gonna buy from this guy yet, or they are on the fence. Usually some people that watch you, they probably they don't know they're gonna buy from you, but they don't reject that idea. People who reject that idea usually they have cooked mindsets, and it's gonna be way harder to help them. So what? So the goal here is to make them, push them to the right side of the fence. That's why free communities work very well, because through content, through put, through getting them into your ecosystem and pushing sequences, pushing webinars, pushing posts, pushing the calls with the setters. These will help them become warmer and warmer and warmer. Usually in the free community funnel, the lead cycle is, let's say the sales cycle is longer than normal. So for example, if you have a VSL funnel, they book a call, whatever. Okay, but this free community funnel works very well for like really cold audiences, because the probability of them being like, oh damn, I'm gonna, for example, if you've been building goodwill for the past few years, like my other partner, if you watch my past videos, you're gonna see that when we launched the offer, we made a lot of money because we had the leads ready to buy, because the creator has been building goodwill for the past 4 years, 3 years, whatever it is. But this creator in specific is really decent and is way, like, let's say, value approach. So it's more like real. This is a real. This is a freebie. This is a value that I can give you. So people be like, oh, maybe I don't need his help right there. So we have a lot of people on the fence. But the goal with with the value, with the content they see, with getting into the community, with being nurtured inside a community for like a couple of days, a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is, then to book a call, you know, either it's a Saturday, call them and book them a call, books them on a call, or it's for like a application link that we have. Then probably offer them buying plus the content they see prior to the call, then it's going to be really way down barbecue fucking chickens. All right. So I hope you guys understood this. This is a really important metric. For, let's say, for IG funnels, for example, in YouTube, it's more, like, say, easier, but we didn't have any YouTube. So you see how can you let's say walk around not having a YouTube. We got to be creative sometimes, and this funnel really help us with that. And when you run this funnel, especially with our strategy, that's more like content, more value approach, rather than trust, building the trust, liking the creator. You gotta be really efficient with this, because let's say, let's say it's William Brown. If you guys know William Brown, or let's say Jeremy Hennings, that we spoke about Jeremy Hennings, maybe some of you know Jeremy Hennings. Jeremy Hennings does not need a free community, because people are loyal to. At the end of the day, like, if you have long form, you have a lot of the things, you don't really need, or you don't have the need to have a free community. Of course, if you're not a Discord, let's say a trading offer. If you if you have a trading offer, maybe a free community works really well. But let's say usually when you have a lot of free content, long pieces of content in YouTube, we have goodwill on YouTube, like William Brown, like Jeremy Haynes, like all those guys that now you can trust them. Now you are already inside their ecosystem because of the trust that you build with them. But in our case, through short form, just pushing short form with being really value approach, where I have this freebie, is going to be useful to you. Just reply with this word, I'll get it to you. That's why you gotta really be efficient and tap all the leaks in your funnel. So the leaks can be the DMs, if you have, if your setters are doing a bad job, if your CTS are not out, if your stories and the value that you give is not what people look for, um, if your followers are not high quality, and it's not your ICP. You gotta really make sure that you tap all the leaks so that you have an optimized system. And once you have the optimized system with this type of funnel, with this type of strategy that we followed, then it's going to be easier in a long run, or I don't say a long run, but it's going to be easier to get the right people inside. And we got a few hundreds of people per day. We got about 200 leads per day, just from the reels that we were running. So imagine if we can convert, let's say, 1 to 10% of those leads per day. That's like 20 to 30 opt-ins on the school. And even though that could be better if we have run ads, but this is purely organic. It's quite a decent number that we can play around. So that's why this works very well when you're doing this type of approach. All the funnels work, but I'm going to be explaining how we ran this. So there's this funnel is composed by three things, okay? And there's a lot of, let me tell you guys, there's a lot of ways to do a funnel breakdown. There's the content, like top of funnel, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel type of approach, where you explain these and how you do your content. The way this is built is how we get eyeballs. Could be ads, could be reels. This is how we get eyeballs. This is how we convert and can convert the eyeballs that we get. Okay. And this is how we build trust. Because you gotta build trust. There's the funnels where we show the know, like, and trust. And this one is more how you know, how you like, and how you trust. But like and trust is more like here, you know what I mean? You kind of can get a good understanding. So let's dive into this, okay? Let's dive into how we made 50K per month with this IG funnel, okay? So proof. Our reels we were sending like one per day on IG account, and most of the reels were pretty much straight proof. So I'm a software engineer, make whatever, or for example, I've built this tool, it helps you do this, or for example, saying something about the market. For example, there's X job openings right now. This is how you can get them. Just DM me the word, I'm gonna send it to you. You know what I mean? So value approach, and of course with proof. Some with just value, some with proof, and then the caption is very well put, where you get them to comment whatever you're doing. Okay, we noticed that this is what was working for us. Okay, you gotta understand, and I can't stress this enough, all the funnels are not the same. Okay, I can make a video on how you can make your own funnel, let's say choose the best funnel for you. But as you can see here, this is very for us. Okay, our ICP likes this. Our ICP loves this type of freebies, and they act with this. That's why we dial our CTA's process and, let's say, content to the specifics of our CTA. And we were just running this, and we were getting, let's say, I think it was 10 to 50K per video per day. So let's say we were getting like, let's say, on average, let's say 15K views, right? Let's say 15K views, that would be, let's say, 150 to 300 comments. That would be 150 to 300 leads. That would be 10, let's say 10%, that would be 15 to 30 opt-ins into the school per day. So imagine like a couple of them are qualified, others are on the fence, they'll be consuming content on IG and on the school. You can get a pretty insane amount of leads. And of course, like not all of them are qualified, but at the end of the day, it's just the fact that they are in your ecosystem. That you can control what content they consume, how they consume, when do they consume. So you can pretty much control their journey. And then we got the conversion. And this is, for example, when somebody follows you, they don't act at the first. They click on your IG bio and they see this free pin post. So for the pin post, you can do a no, like, and trust, and that's usually the framework that you kind of do your things for content, whatever. But we noticed that these people, and usually, for example, you can see people like Shelby. So Shelby Saps, Shelby Saps on IG. She has her pin post, like, you know her background, how she helps people, whatever. but we noticed that proof for proof was doing really good for us. And guys, I'm gonna be straight honest with you. If I if I was running this off right now, I would do things very differently. I'm just showing you what worked for us back then, not necessarily what's working right now. Okay, so I can only share what I did. But of course, if I was to do things right now, I'll probably do things very differently. But this worked for us. Was nice. Was nice. Was working kind of nicely. And then on the stories, it's, as you can see, it's like very value, 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 value. Okay, it's more like, hey, I can help you with this. You follow me because I can help you break and land a 100K coding job. You follow me because you want to get value from me. You want to be coached from me. That's the whole purpose of this account. It's not like, oh, you like me, oh, you trust me. Of course, that's a big part, but that's a post interaction part. So once they join the school, so once they saw a lot of videos, once they DM'd us, then they start trusting us. You know what I mean? So the whole approach is like, hey, I'm going to be the difference guy in my niche by just sharing tons of value. And to and by now you might be noticing that, oh damn, this a lot of freebies for me, and I'm going to be explaining a bit more about freebies and the way you can do this. But our whole approach was CTA to the school. So CTA, you get the freebie on the school. We also ran CTA to freebie, and then on the freebie itself we would send them to the school. So the only opt-in is in the school, because then it's just easier for us in the backend to control it. But in terms of freebies would work very well, because somebody, for example, would get a ton of freebies for us, and then the DM setter would go there, start chatting with them, get him to the school, then book a call. Okay, so of course there's the DM setting, which is the most important part of this whole process. But at the end of the day, this is how you can pretty much convert people that are already on our page. You can do retargeting ads on your IG. You can you can just spend a bunch of money on getting reels in front of these people. But at the end of the day, it's just the way you conduct your CTAs, the way you tap all the leaks in your funnel. You gotta fix every single thing. Okay, you gotta make sure everything is down, because when doing this and people don't really like you, it's like, oh damn, I can lose leads pretty easily. So I gotta make sure that I don't lose any single lead. And the way you do this is by having a really optimized funnel. So highlights, pin posts, the copy in the descriptions, the copy in your stories, the DM CTAs, the DM conversations, the description on the school, the VSL on the school, the banners on the school, all the different things, the copy in every single thing. It's really important. So make sure you have it all in so you don't mess this up. And once they join the school, then it's the opt-in. And then once they're inside our bubble, they build the trust, because then we have this email sequence, which is a killer, and we have the post inside the community, we have the classroom inside the community with the long form nurturing, and then we could do retargeting. We were not running ads, but if I was running ads right now, 100% to retargeting ads for the views that I get on IG, so that they see one of my videos and they get a bunch of more of those videos, and they just ask for all the freebies that I just put out, and then I can have conversations with them. And then once they join the school, then 100% I would have the ads to get these people through IG, through the school, through whatever. But this one was killer for us. And I'm going to be explaining pretty much what we did, but in terms of the back end of the actual funnel. But these guys, you could do welcome sequences pretty, you can get creative here. You can do 5-day sequences, 7-day sequences, 10-day, 15-day sequences. Okay? As long as the value that you give these people, they actually like it. It's actual valuable. And as long as it's not trash, you can send them as many emails as you want. Okay, 1 email per day. Just make sure that the content that you're putting out is just make sure that the content that you're putting out will help these people, of course we'll nurture these people, but at the end of the day, we'll help them make a decision or become interested in whatever you're selling. That's the goal with all the barometer, and that's why I always look at it when building a funnel, when building a process, because you want to get people to the right side of the spectrum. That's, for example, handling limited beliefs. That's, for example, sharing specific insights and specific content for them to consume once they join your bubble and your ecosystem. And, for example, book a call, consume information about the program that you're selling. So the calls are not educational. And here is, you want to push a lot of education, so you build your trust with these consumers so they become interested in your product and they book a call with you. So our case was a 7-day sequence, was working pretty well for us. And now let's go over the backend view. So we were not running any ads. So the way we were getting these people is through IG Reels and IG Stories. This funnel is a pure IG funnel, no TikTok, no YouTube. That's why when you, of course, guys, I'm always, for me, it's YouTube to IG ecosystem. I love that. It's my go-to funnel on every single offer. But here, it was just IG, okay? And when you just have IG, you can, of course, control the amount of views that you get. You can control the retargeting. You can really control how many people comment, of course. But you can then, with math, with you look at your economics, you look at your data, then you can predict some things. But like, it's organic at the end of the day. You can predict to a certain extent. But okay, if you go for volume, that's our whole game. It's like, we're gonna push a video per day. This is the framework for the videos that works for us. Let's push with this, and then in the back end, have the stories, have the highlights, have the comments and the setting. So comment CTAs, DM CTAs, to send them to the link to the school or freebies. So it could be a freebie, then school, or it could be school opt-in. And then here you have three different things. So if click, they don't click on a button, or they don't respond to you, you can have auto follow-ups. If you have a setting army of tons of setters that you pretty much, you can have the luxury of going for leads that did not interact with you before, then don't need to have auto follow-ups. But we only had like 2 or 3 setters, or I think, at a time, so we had these auto follow-ups for these kind of lost leads. And once they respond, or once they click on the specific link, then we would interact with them. So if they opt in, then it's a whole different story. So once they opt into the school, we actually had 3 communities on school. They usually have a pretty decent conversion rate on the landing page, but the setter call. So, but once somebody opt-ins, that's 3 things. That's the auto DM. So we have the setters on school, have the setters on IG. We go for these leads every single way. We chat with them on IG, we chat with them on school, and we call them. And these calls and this setting approach is very indirect approach. Of course, you're gonna, as I put it here, you're gonna qualify these people. We're gonna push the conversations to where you want to go, but it should be really value upfront, especially if your whole strategy and funnel strategy is not a very trust basis. Let's say, let me make these people like me type of approach, where you see a lot of creators doing. It's more a value type of approach. This is, you see me because you like the value that I give, not because you like me. Because if you, for example, if you do YouTube, then people will end up liking you because you have tons of hours in YouTube. But here on IG, it's just short reels. At the end of the day, people like you because they are interested in whatever you can give them. So the setting and the setter call when somebody opts into the school should be more a value approach, where, oh, so you joined the community, welcome. I just see if you need any help, if everything is okay on your end, and I'd like to just give you some pointers based on your situation, if that's okay. Then on the setting approach is more like the same thing or similar thing, depending on the freebie that they ask for. Okay. And Once we have this, of course, we have the emails, and the emails, it's the thing that we have here. So you should go all in on emails. Okay, one email per day minimum. Especially if they join the free school, you have a 5 to 15 day period where you should go all in, and then you can slow down a bit, just have a continuous newsletter. And then qualification process, it's a usual thing of the setting. I can have a video just based on setting. I don't want to go through this right now, but then it's a book a call, and it's a all different story. So you see, it's kind of simple. If you look an overview of how things work, it's kind of simple, but just make sure that you always give value. And as you can see here, you send a lot of freebies, and the school should be really value based. So what I would recommend for you guys, if you do this type of funnel, is have a freebie machine, a literal freebie machine where you just produce freebies on a weekly basis, like a fuck ton of freebies and projects, and uh, let's say it's AI prompts, AI projects that you can give to people. If it's this coding, it's like templates, it's PDFs, it's guides, to push them to the school community. And once you push them to the school community, then you have rooms to nurture these people. It's the same thing when someone books a call with you. You send them specific resources for them to watch prior to the call, so they can become not only more educated on your product that you sell, but you pre-handle some potential objections, you pre-handle some limiting beliefs. Same thing here. You have content that you put on the classroom specific for people to watch, so they can understand better your mechanism, understand your approach, and especially in these, let's say, let's say careers coaching offers, people or come to you because they want to do one thing. It's not like a business op offer where you need to convince them that that's the best biz op for them to go to. This is, hey, I already want to do this. I want to become a software engineer. I just need help to achieve the end goal. And the whole approach is, hey, this is my mechanism. This is what we do. This is how we get people results. These are testimonials. This is the videos of just giving value and helping you move forward in your career. And then you should have, of course, a CTAs to application on the school. And then you have these free initial posts where you welcome them to the community, you push them to watch the videos in the classroom, and you have the proof, of course, on first thing, and you maybe have a VSL there where you kind of can say, hey, this is a free training, this is whatever. And on top of this, you have the free webbies inside the community. And the free webbies kind of, they usually work very well because you can say on your IG, hey, I'm doing a free class inside my community. You can join for free. Just join the community. That's okay. That's good. And you have the email sequences to back it up. So you see, you hit them from everywhere. You hit them on the IGDMs. You just push a lot of volume and content to them on IGs and close friends. And you hit them on emails. You hit them on the DMs on school, on a post on school, on every single way that you can, on ads if you run ads. Okay. So to kind of end off here, guys, I want to go through the IG for community funnel musts, because we've spoke about a lot of things, and I can say I probably missed out on something, but I want to make it clear that these are the things that you gotta be spot on, and you gotta make sure that you do these musts. These are the musts. You cannot miss on these things. Okay, and you gotta understand this. So I want you to really understand these specific things. First, as I said, community posts. Okay, make sure when somebody joins the school, they have the posts that you want them to go through. Okay, maybe I would say that I see a lot of people doing the free funnels, free community funnels actually, because a free funnel can be a training funnel, can be a webinar funnel, can be a freebie funnel. But in our case, it's a community funnel. Okay, it's like I explained before, you got IGs, value up front, they don't have trust with you, you send them to a place, they become part of your ecosystem and they build trust with you. And the community posts serve that purpose of building trust, of having the proof, having the VSL, having the welcome post to send them to the classroom. So you see, it's a specific framework that you could use. And you gotta be consistent. You can repurpose IG content, the stories, the emails, community posts can be all the same thing. You post everything, every single thing at the same time, and you post the same thing. You can repurpose emails to community posts, stories to community posts, reels to community posts. Use the same free shit, okay? You could do it. Just make sure that you post on the community 3 to 5 times a week, the free community, and make people engage. If you're engaged in the community, people will be more engaged. Okay, an active community equals active leads. So make sure that you set the example, you are active in the community. I see a lot of free communities not being really active. Creators just put them there just because they need a place to keep all the leads. And if you do not take care of your garden, well, your flowers will die. So make sure you do it. And here, as I said before, make sure you make your community active. And the way you could do it is through free webinars. It could be weekly classes, monthly classes, however you want to do it. And then you could push traffic from your audience on your platforms to watch these things inside your community. And then these free classes could be more value based depending on the strategy. And then have the CTA to application or to book a call with you to learn more about how you can help them. Simple things. Just make sure this is very good to push traffic into your community, because then once you get more traffic into your community, you have the right pieces of content. So long form nurturing is a pretty big thing. Okay. And we didn't have any YouTube. That was one of our problems back then, and we didn't have any YouTube. So we needed to build like looms and stuff to have these long form touch, because it's really important. And then we will repurpose webinars as well. So yeah, make sure that you have resources to pre-handle objections, beliefs, give a lot of value to these people, because at the end of the day, they join your ecosystem. You gotta make sure that they understand why they're there. They understand your offer, how you can help them at the end of the day, and they get value from you. And the best way they can get value from you is through these little courses. Okay, I'm not saying for you to build a 10 hours course. No, you could just do a couple of videos that are really valuable, and then you can run freebies, you can run CTAs to them, you can run everything, and maybe say that, oh, you're gonna get access to this thing inside the community, as the same thing as the webinar. Oh, you gotta get access to the webinar inside the community. You know what I mean? But this is really important, especially to get people to the right side of the spectrum in the and you get like more barbecue, more way down barbecue freaking chickens. And then to get more barbecue chickens, you got to have email sequences. And as I said, and I can't stress this enough, just post a ton of emails, but make sure they are valuable. Make sure they are packed with value, because the last thing you want to do is push out a lot of emails that are promotional or they scream bots. All right, they gotta scream value. They gotta scream quality. Okay, especially if you're a small creator, as this creator in specific is. If you're a small creator, you gotta build trust. Last thing you want to do is push promotional stuff. That way, my guy, your trust will go downhill, and yeah, there's no savior for you, my man. So make sure that your sequences are good and your CTAs are dialed. As I said before, our CTAs were dialed. We knew the content that worked for us. We knew our metrics, so we were pushing the things that we knew for a fact that would work for us. Okay. At the end of the day, of course, it's organic, and I would say that you gotta do this before you run any ads. To run ads, the best way to run ads is something works, so you just put volume on it. That's the best way. So if you have a CTA framework, if you have a content framework that you know for a fact that works, and your audience works, of course, you could always say, oh, but cold audience is different from warm. Yes, you could run the target, and probably if your organic audience is working on a certain framework or CTAs or contents or topics, probably cold audience will. You just gotta test. But the way you gotta test is, if you have something that works, you start testing with it, and then you go and you change. And I can't stress this enough. If you don't have a killer setting team, you're completely fucked. I'm sorry, but this whole funnel works. if you have a killer setting team. If you notice, and if you had, if you have been paying attention until now, you understood that this only works if you have good setters. So if you have your DM IG setting machine is working properly, if your post opt-in sequences are working properly and your setters are doing the work, our setters were contacting these people within 4 to 5 minutes after they opt in into the school. Okay, you see, they would receive an SMS message, a WhatsApp message, a call. Make sure that we contact these people right there. Okay, and sometimes we wouldn't push for a call. We would just nurture them a bit more, so then we could then later on call them and follow up with them. And when we get on the call, like a few days, because as I said, the sales cycle is a bit longer here. But on IG, you gotta make sure that the leads are nurtured and your setting team is not burning leads. The last thing you want to do is to have a bunch of leads in your DMs, a bunch of leads coming to your school, and your setters burn those leads because your scripts are not good enough, and your setting process and your team is not doing enough. Your setting process is not good, it's not valid. So last thing you want to do. So build a killer team of setters, have a setter manager, have things in place to make sure, and you test. As I said, test things, test the script, test to see how people respond to it, and once you get something that works, a winning framework for your setters, your setting team, then you just put in volume. Because I would not recommend to run ads before you have your setting process out. And if you have the CTAs out, you have the setters out, then you can book calls on demand. Because it's really important to have all these things out, okay, in order to grow and scale. But you probably have noticed by now that this funnel has, let's say, a specific unique, I wouldn't say unique, it has its own structure and priorities. And what I mean by this is the backend is more important than the front end in this funnel. If you have watched my last videos, you see, let's say you've noticed that the funnel that we ran is the front end is more important than the backend. Because let's say if you're doing campaigns, if you're doing YouTube type of things, and you're just running a lot of content to push a lot of traffic, okay, it's important to have the front end, that your front end does not burn leads. Okay, but here we were just pushing the same exact content every single day. Once we got one that works, we were just pushing. And of course, we have variables. We have talking heads. We have different types of videos to run. But at the end of the day, it's the content that's quite simple. And then we have the stories framework. We have all these things that work for us, and we know for a fact that works for us. We're just pushing this. But if you do not have a setting team that's out, if you do not have the many chat sequences out, if you don't have the sequences post opting out, then we would be fucked. I can't stress this enough, guys. If we do not have a backend that supports this strategy and this funnel, these would not work. And these won't work if you try that. So make sure that you have your content system that works for you, and then have a backend, have the team out, if your process is out, if your backend CRM's ops out, have your sequences post opting out on the school, have your school built out properly, have the free classes properly done, whatever, have your welcome sequences done, and you're tracking all the metrics, tracking all the data, tracking the opt-in rates, tracking the view to common CTA metrics, have the common CTA to conversation metric, have the lead to set metric out, have the lead journey metrics out. For example, if you have noted, you gotta see if where are you getting the most calls from. If it's from the set call, if it's from the DMs on IG, if it's from application form after a webby or before a webby, or from the course, from the posts, or from the emails. You gotta notice all these things, and then you should track your content. You should track your content and see what is the content that works best for me. What are the videos that usually tend to work best and generate more calls for me. based on my cycle. Because let me tell you, it's really difficult, or it's not difficult, it's kind of more tricky to track this process as a longer sales cycle, because usually we get a one person in, then you gotta nurture them for like a few days, a week, 2 weeks before they take action, because it's more of a trust build type of funnel. So yeah, I hope you guys like this. I hope you guys understood these blueprints. And I just want to make sure that you understand these musts, because if you have these musts out, then it's just way better for you to manage and run this funnel, okay? But this is it. I hope you like this. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message on IG or comment below this video. I will be happy to help you. And if you're a coach or a creator, you run your offer or you're looking to scale your offer, and if you would like to see if it makes sense to partner with my team and see how that works, please feel free to message me on IG or book a call to me down below. Anyway, hope you like this, and I see you guys on the next one.